Well, good evening. Let me let some people in here.
I already did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
We're gonna discuss it.
Good evening and welcome to the Coventry Select Board meeting. June 20th, 2022. Call the meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. and we'll go around the room and introduce ourselves here physically present. Start at the head table with Mr. Gauss.
Dave Gallup, Selectman.
Scott Breyer, Selectman.
Phil Marquez, Select Board.
David Barlow, Acting Secretary to the Select Board.
Carrie Keeman, resident.
And let's start out there in video land. Praneeth, we get you to go first.
Praneeth Menon, Planning Commission, School Director.
And Tina? Or Barbara DeVos.
Barbara DeVoe, Coventry.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I think we have Tina. Resident or non-resident? We'll sort it out. Okay, first up we have changes or additions to the agenda. I do have a couple. I'm getting the look, so I will proceed with that. Somehow I managed to trim the June 6th meeting minutes off of the agenda, but I do need to add those back on for review and approval. I have an update on the sidewalk MPM. So that'll keep Praneeth happy.
Definite.
I have a local, there's a letter to a local resident that you guys have asked on a couple times. I have that in the packet for review as well. No other changes or additions. We will move on to allow for public comment. None heard? All right, so first up, we have the future of 150 Main Street. I will turn that over to the board for discussion.
I don't know.
Oh, so did we want to, we're gonna talk about tearing the house down, right?
Sure.
And we're going to also find out if there was asbestos, right? That was like,
Right, we would need to do all the testing, asbestos, lead. And I'm gonna ask the tester if there's other stuff we should be testing for.
right. So I think we should authorize Dave just to get all the tests done and then we'll know, because if there's lead or asbestos, then we're gonna have to, it won't be as easy as just saying, hey, Dave, let's rent an excavator and you tear it down.
No, and at the last meeting, we spoke to it a little bit. You know, I spoke to Jeremy and he's provided the proper steps to take. So.
Okay, so I should talk with Jeremy at the land.
Well, no, he just, you know, when I was talking to him, I said, hey, what do you gotta do with it? You know, and I said, well, first thing, just get it tested for asbestos, get anything you want out as far as copper and all that stuff. And he said, then you don't have to separate anything, you just knock it down, and throw it in the dumpster. We addressed that a little bit with this letter here. Those people were here last week, Amber and Stephen.
Yeah, okay.
I was thinking another, maybe not at this time, but at some point, we should be doing some test pits too, if we ever want to get off the septic system, the shared system we have with,
That is a shared system.
has been since day one of this building.
Oh, to see if we perk and then put a new septic system in for the community center possibly.
Yeah, maybe be independent of that. It's probably a great idea in the day, because it was such a school building.
It probably wouldn't be a bad idea, because all of a sudden when there's a problem,
It was a school.
It wasn't
Yep.
necessarily a school, it was a parents club originally, but it was.
Right.
We were here every
But
day.
it-
for
the two
hotline.
buildings were being used.
if they end up having a problem, we know how they pay.
Yeah,
We'll end up, we don't want to have to be
Yeah.
building their septic system, right?
Yeah.
So I agree. So.
So that's a step we can take. We could go with anybody like Horizons. Is it Horizon? You reached out to them, didn't have no luck for
It
yourself.
depends if they've got a water guy at the.
They do that stuff. They'll do an engineered system.
But do they do the perk testing?
I would assume they
Yeah,
do. It's,
they
I'm,
do.
I'm sure it's the same as it always was. You dig a test pit and the state comes in and looks at those
Yeah.
soils and tells you what you can, and they can evaluate the soils.
Are you thinking we may need to use that property to put it onto? The back
Some of
corner?
it, maybe.
Maybe
We
the
don't know.
leach, or maybe the tank, we don't
Well,
know.
that'd be something to know, or if we're doing
Yeah.
parking lot or something, then.
Yeah, I was thinking before we jump into making a paving a parking lot.
Yeah.
Just something to discuss. Also was wondering maybe about using the fellow up here, is it Modern? His business is in Coventry for the testing.
Modern,
It's just, that's just the name of the outfit, it's Modern. It's right up there by, you know who it is, Gary? It's Caleb,
Is that the one that's? in-
Sonny Sloan's old place.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no, I don't know. who does it.
He does do that, and I'd actually spoke to him on, I'm pretty sure it's just Modern. I don't know if that was a route they wanted to go, just, he is his business is in Coventry.
It's probably not something you have to bid out to get, right?
I don't think it's gonna be that expensive.
well, if we, to get it, just to figure
Test
it,
it.
just to figure.
He'll
it
come
out,
in
right.
and test, test what we need. Yeah, I'm sure it's Modern. And that's what he does, is asbestos.
Modern environmental contracting.
Yeah,
In Harrisburg.
no,
No.
Says it's-
he's in Coventry. Just a thought.
Oh, he'll come test the house?
Yeah.
All right, let's reach out to him.
And the other one's
This
Fine
one?
Touche. I think it is.
Moderns,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's in Harrisburg.
No, it's not.
There's business up here. So he's-
That might say that.
Well, it says we're at 14 Coventry, so yeah.
yeah, it's right here.
You want to,
Sonny Sloan's right
you
here.
want to give Dave the phone number?
Contact on the website is
Oh, I've seen that place.
908-878-8527.
It's on Route 14, as you head out across from.
Well, yeah, that would make sense.
It's right there.
Just beyond like the lane road and stuff.
If he gives it a clean bill of health, then we're
On the
good.
left.
And if he says there's X amount in it, and
Oh,
he's
right,
certified.
right past the
he said, yeah,
branches,
it's gonna
that
be
garage
this
there.
Or that.
Ah,
We
yes,
need
yep. I think you used
Get that
he used
thing
to be out
down,
there,
get a
didn't you?
septic in here, then we're independent, and then figure out what you want
I
to
thought
do.
I'd seen him on
And
14,
before we
just
do
past
anything,
the.
You know,
all
paving.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just
Yeah.
past the Weir Sawmill
We don't want.
on the left, right before Pogny's.
Yeah, okay.
The one that has the outdoor furnace that's constantly smoking and the neighbors are
Or
complaining.
the worst, one other scenario is to, we could probably figure that out.
My furnace runs off.
But we could also, figure that out and kind of see what that looks like, but then we could also have this shared system inspected. Maybe it's good for another 50 years, maybe it's massive and there's never gonna be a problem.
I mean, it's amazing what it's done to this point, when you think of 100 kids coming here every day for lunch, you must have came here to eat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So
We used to have our
we
own
probably
share.
need a motion to authorize you to do that stuff, right?
You want me to do the testing?
Yes.
Yes, I understand. Okay, yes, please.
I'll make a motion to have David Barlow reach out for doing asbestos and whatever else testing needs to be done to the 150 Main Street house.
Along with calling to
Along
find,
with finding out about perk testing and what that process would be.
Oh,
in your spare time.
Oh, no, this is gonna be on the bill. This won't be.
The,
I understand.
I think the first part is more important.
So wastewater. Standard line thing, probably, but thankfully we're not desperate moments.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we could, towards the middle of the end of the summer, have that, have a direction at least, and maybe.
Okay, so we have motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Okay, moving on to number 5, painting bid for the meeting house. Bid in your packet. Mailed it earlier this week as well.
oh, I didn't see that. That's what you're talking about. Because it was on the back side of the page. This is the Jim Fitzgerald room.
It is. I've thrown it up on the screen as well for our viewing audience. Something
Have you spoke to this guy at all, Dave?
I have not.
I've spoke with this guy. He seems like he's extremely fussy.
Yeah.
You know, he's gonna do the clock.
So that was actually where I was headed. I just see that. So I talked to Dave about that. So those actually aren't painted. Those numerals aren't painted. They're actually like a copper tab.
Oh, up there?
Yeah, once you get up closer and look at them, but I was mistaken in the original bid advertisement, so it's not a, the numerals don't need to be painted, they'll need some sort of maintenance, but not paint. Although I think the face of the clock.
Yeah, definitely needs. He's probably gonna have to take them off to paint anyway.
Did we get any other bids?
We did not. Not even a little. Phone call request.
It's kind of too bad. You're probably right from the get-go. We probably should have just ripped all the siding off. By the time you put that pre-prime siding on, you'd have been half the painting cost, you know, we would have had brand new. Is what it is. It's too late for it.
Right, either paint it or paint it, and then in 10 years vinyl side it maybe, who knows? I don't know.
Is Monty done over there?
It looks like one more board in the back, huh?
Oh, he's got a ways to go. He's gonna go up a little higher because he found a point up above where it levels off.
Mhm.
If you look above where the electrical wire comes in, you'll see a chipboard.
It's definitely better though.
Yeah, so he's gonna go up to that because he said the siding seems to level out. Then he's still got to do the stuff in the front up on, he's still got a lot of work to do.
And I think this Jim guy, he will, I mean, it's $65 an hour, but he'll fix any other rotted boards. He'll fix if we want him to do the windows after. Or, you know, maybe get a bid on those now while he's here. If we decide we want him to do it, then he will also do all the windows and make them work, and thinks that should all be an oil base.
He had that in here, didn't he?
No, he's not painting the windows.
Oh, he's not.
Windows. This does not include any window sashes or window frames.
Although his proposal seems to include those. All window door sills and thresholds primed.
Yeah, it was kind of contradictory. Because the front. This does not include any window sash or window frames. But then he put in here
All windows and door
all
sills
windows and
and
door sills and
thresholds.
thresholds. Door sills and thresholds, so that would not include the window frames. Or sash.
I think he's on it though. I think he's great.
Of course, would that have been part of, you didn't have a discussion with him. I guess my thought where that might have come from is if we were talking about redoing some of those sashes anyways, you wouldn't paint them before they were done.
I think Trevor's doing what, 2 up top.
Definitely one down below. I don't know about the ones up top.
There was some on top on the bottom there of the window.
Oh, kind of preserving the sills.
Yeah, I
I
thought he
think
was
he's
gonna change.
replacing, I think he's replacing one or two.
Yeah.
Is the original bid.
It's a good chunk of lumber. But okay,
It might have been the one, I'm not sure if it was the one by the broken window or right around the corner. One of them was pretty rotten. But
But I mean, if we do decide and we get someone, then we can really, I think he wants to get the upper stuff done before they do the roof. And we haven't heard anything from the roof people, have we?
they have cashed our check
So that's what we've heard.
so far. I will call him tomorrow.
I know, but I'm glad we locked them in because that kind of roofing material has doubled or went up 3 times in price, that metal, so.
guess I'm good with the proposal.
So is this something that nobody's talked to him yet?
I've talked to him.
You have? Is this something that he's like, he wants to get it done, get going now, because if Monty's not done yet? can they
Well, I
come
think
talk
there's
to
a
each
lot
other,
of,
or-
there's a lot of working around. There's a
Okay.
lot for him to like.
Well, that's all my.
I don't
thought
think
was.
this guy's, if we approve this tonight and I reach out to him, I don't think he's starting tomorrow. I
Right.
think he's probably a week or 2 out, and then we could say, Monty, the guy's coming to paint, you know,
I kind of put that energy. It probably wouldn't hurt for you to bark at him a little bit. We got conflict here.
Trevor.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'll bark at him. Say, listen, we gotta clean that up, finish it up. Okay, you wanna make the motion for this paint bid?
Sure. Make a motion to accept the paint bid from Jim Fitzgerald.
Second? All those in favor? Aye.
Okay, I have one, I have a signature page then, that's been accepted by.
Is this his number here? I'll take a picture of this and then I'll reach out to him tonight. And then I'll send an email of what he says when he plans on starting.
Okay.
So 35% down, 40% upon completion, where does the other 25%
No,
go?
35 grand. I think.
35
Oh,
grand.
okay, that's not percentage.
That's not
I'm
percentage,
like,
yeah.
hey, where's the?
Although it is some market, 45%.
Is that kind of an invoice, or even an invoice when for the 35?
I'll have to ask them.
I'll ask him for an invoice.
Yeah,
It'd be
probably
to
better.
get an invoice.
I'll have an invoice.
Yeah, and I'm gonna need a W-9 and proof of insurance as well.
I'll get that. Today's date was 6/20.
20.
Make notes. So proof of insurance. And then with W-9,
W-9.
a W-9, proof of insurance and an invoice. And start date. And then when he comes up here for that, we'll ask him, okay, look at these windows. What do we need to do? And what is that gonna cost? Okay.
Will vary widely depending on which side of the building they're on, I would imagine. Which one they may take.
So he's not doing like reglazing.
Nothing really, no.
I think in this proposal, no, but if,
But he will.
I think
He
it's
wants to.
necessary.
He
But
does.
it's
Okay, I'm
not-
just gonna say Miller gave me another name too.
I just know when I operated them earlier, and they were left open, one of the big ones, it was just a shower of glazing falling on me. Oh, yeah, that's a problem.
We'll test you for lead.
Is there,
It's too late.
there's not a problem if he was to take some of those out and put something temporary
Mhm.
in the window, because you gotta take them out. He could actually do them in the basement, couldn't he? I don't think there's a
Probably
problem
not
with that.
gonna
I
do
could
it.
offer that to that.
Yeah, they come
You
out
take them out,
Yeah,
maybe one at a time.
to reglaze them. Yeah, you gotta take
right,
them
you gotta take them out anyways, and probably could do a lot better finish. Just put plywood over the thing or
Yeah.
plastic for the night or,
That's why you see plywood on the front right now, is that at some point, I think it was Paul Cutting made a new window. And then
it's in there, right?
the window's downstairs, it's not in, it's covered with plywood and some insulation. It was part of Dr. Feltmark's plan to make it look bad. So that we did something. And it's working out over time.
Yeah, all right,
You know.
good. Well,
And actually, I spoke to Trevor about putting that window in. Do you guys want him to or not?
why don't we just see what this guy wants to
Okay.
do,
Yeah,
because
it needs to be painted, I think.
no sense in putting it in if we're gonna take it right back out.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, moving on to placement of the new exterior ballot box drop box. And I know Deb is not here, but we're approaching a point of needing to get that in place for the we have an August primary, so it needs to be in place by early July. So this is kind of it, decision time as to where we're going to at least temporarily
I
put
see.
the thing.
Where we had it or by the sidewalk, by the sidewalk.
I think, I thought we spoke a little yesterday about putting it right here, basically,
Mhm.
by the sidewalk. Going
Till
from
we
there.
do
so
something.
now and then,
permanent.
once we do this, then
Once
we'll
we
have,
figure out what we want to do there.
Yeah.
we can have a real drive up one.
What do you need to do to do, you need to put a pad in, because that's gotta be secured down,
I think we might be close enough. We could just bolt right into the,
cement or the pavement.
there's some pavement, old pavement there covering up. Cement.
Just gonna drill a hole and pound
And I
it.
might be able to do something kind of short time, and I'll probably forget it. Norm's supposed to give me some pavement to fix my,
Your ditch,
yeah, so maybe I could do that at the same time if I could figure it out. I could have John just cut out a box
Fill it with tar and put some studs through it.
for them.
So just to rip it out, they gotta rip it out.
We'll throw the tire away in.
Okay,
Right here.
so we're gonna do it
so
right here.
where you want it.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay, I'm just gonna write a note where David G wants it. We'll get it.
Yep.
It's currently in the town administrator's office downstairs.
good.
Okay, the Spencer Hill request, I had previously talked with David about this. We received, or Deb received a request about,
From this Corey Peck.
right, extending the town maintained portion of Spencer Hill. Call it road, just for clarity, that is, but I think the post office calls it a hill.
Spencer Hill Road is,
What is it considered?
no, it is Spencer
No,
Hill.
it's called Spencer Hill. It's a weird, it's revelations when you're the 911 guy, the
Mhm.
wackiness of the whole thing. What Dave and I talked about is, what we really need is a policy about how the town approaches private roads and requests to make private roads into publicly maintained roads. So I've encountered this myself with some property in Derby. I know that their policy is that it has to be built to town standards. And there's actually, I think, a state standard for
There is there's
that type
a,
of road.
there's a, oh, I got just a diagram. of
Guideline.
How to, yeah, guideline of how to do the road itself. As far as meeting specs, so 2 feet of gravel, so much crusher around above it.
So what I would propose, from my point of view, is to draft that policy with the help of the road superintendent and put that in front of you guys at the first opportunity. Which might not be the next meeting, that depends on how much time we have to get it done, but
I don't think we should hurry at all and just make another, maybe make a note. We could also update our driveway permit. One of the things I would look at is the town of Georgia had a great one. And that deferred a little bit to roads too, taking roads on.
How much road is he talking? A mile, half a mile, quarter
I was
mile?
just trying to.
Quarter
measure that.
mile, but it's
Just up to his driveway.
It's not a good spot. There's a lot of
There's no
clay.
place for you to turn around either.
That, and there's a lot of clay. It's gonna, whoever did the work did a nice job of what it is, but I mean, one track through there with a heavy truck in the spring and it's back to.
So he just wants it up to his, not past 501.
So it's punky, it's gonna be punky, it's gonna
It's gonna be
soften up.
terrible.
Yeah.
I've previously, before we had policies, I used to try to go out and try to help those people, and it's just a bad spot. Because you get a lot of water coming from Bruce's up above, and it all settles right just above his driveway where the nose of your truck would be. So I think he's kind of on the right step in regards to if he wants to petition us, it would have to be all of the landowners, is that correct, David?
it depends on our policy outcome,
Yeah.
I suppose, but it's also how much of the road would he propose and would we be willing to take over from a town perspective? And I think you would probably need to have a turnaround
Oh, yeah,
at the end of the public road.
we have a turnaround now, Scott, that's issue.
Right at the end of where it's currently is.
Who has to get the road up to those specs, us or them?
I would say that.
Yeah, typically it's the landowner. I just know how it went down.
If we were taking it over as a
Landowner
town
gets the road up to
highway,
spec,
they would have to do it.
makes the,
Is that a class 3 road? up there?
So I only have two things to reference,
And
and
then
that's
sign
Lee
for the
Road
land.
and
Oh,
get a deed of land.
down here by the Saw Garage.
Get out
Sometimes
your
we were
wallet.
taking a road on where it was
Next to it.
just extending where we are on a class 4. I think Dale put in a crusher run and did some ditching down here, and I think, can't remember if, I think Rick got billed for the crusher run up on his. I think we want to go real careful on that, really think through that, because you're gonna open up a can of worms, you start taking on roads. You know. It's a
Well,
lot.
unless we did it as a class 4.
Even then, that's not what they're looking.
But a class 4 road, we don't maintain class 4 roads.
It's just the
Yeah.
culverts. So so they're looking for us to maintain it up to.
They want you to plow past their house probably and turn right to the turnaround.
Well,
Right
there
now.
really isn't a turnaround other than
This
Bruce.
should include
Bruce.
sufficient surface and base adequate drainage and sufficient width capable to provide winter maintenance, except that based on safety considerations for traveling. Select board shall
Is it a
rule
dead end?
adopted under 24 VSA. chapter
Dead
59.
ends, that cornfield off Covey Road.
I don't know even where, I don't,
You ever been to Coventry? We should take you.
not
for a
much,
ride
I only go
sometime.
on my, well, I should go on every road, I should go for a ride someday.
They're not terrible about not going on the class 4.
Okay, so
I'll have to get a 6-pack of soda and go for a
are you guys
ride.
okay with that way ahead? That I'll just work with David on a policy.
So I make a motion that we give David Gallup reins on this to work with David Barlow and come up with a proposal or a policy or policy.
On this, this might give the answers for
All those in
getting rid of
favor?
it. Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
this might
You
give the
seconded
answers.
that?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
this might give the answers to getting rid of the town highways too. Because we gotta do that.
We've done that.
Yeah, I remember this.
Right, but we need,
We know
remember, we
that.
gotta figure out that process.
That makes people happy, I'll tell you.
That process, we know. It's this process, we haven't gone through.
Okay,
it.
because when I brought up this one up here, it wasn't clear on what we had to do.
as far as
As far as getting rid of it.
we know the process.
We did it twice. three
Well, I know,
times.
that's why, and that's why I was brought it up.
We got rid of three.
4 or 5.
Four, yeah.
It's a good move.
So when we're talking about roads, talking about getting rid of that one, the other one I talked about was Cottonmore. Cause that's a driveway.
Yeah, I think you'd have a hard time right now. I mean, just a bad timing in life right now on that one.
Okay. FY 23 grants and aid program, I already have a signed document on that one. It's that,
This year.
I have talked about that with David regarding something about hydrologically connected
Road segments.
road sections, whatever that means. Water flows somehow.
Do we need a motion on this? No. We did.
So what is this again? Sorry.
We're done with that one.
It's $18,500 from the state matching funds, 3,000, or
15,003.
that's 18 something.
The total. Your total comes out to 18.
15, yeah, you're right, I'm sorry, 15,000.
18,750.
37.
Is this what we usually do?
Yeah,
We've used them before. We've used them for hydro seeder, ditching. One of the things I am curious about is that Thought Shore that we applied for it last year, but I don't think anything's ever became of that. I reached, when Doug sent this out to us, I emailed him. Because said he wanted to look at all projects. For the life of me, I can't remember what Ned put in or I put in, if it was put in.
this looks the same as the same numbers as last year. It looks, this sheet's the same, but I don't
think this is a higher amount.
think we used it last year though, did
I
we?
don't think we did either. That's what I was getting at when I tried to get a hold of, when I emailed Morton and Doug. But
So this is for 2023.
Yeah.
So let's find out what happened to 2022.
We have some sort of website. That I have to have access to anyway for the sidewalk thing, so I'll maybe
I know we did
track that down.
I know we got the engineering grant in. I can't remember if we did this one or not. Thought we were gonna.
I think we did. We talked, but maybe Ned didn't do it.
That's what I'm wondering.
V-Trans grant and aid program has been received, $9,400, July 6, 2021. Once the grant has been fully executed, see that, it probably never happened. I'll forward this to you.
Okay, and I'll send it to Doug. 6,100. You said,
9,400.
yeah, that sounds. We got more money this year. It's all free.
I'm gonna start putting some paint down.
20%.
Yeah, AOT this
Yeah.
year, not us. Definitely not Trevor.
That water-based paint just doesn't cut it.
Yeah. 40.
Okay, all set?
Yep.
FY 23 Building Communities Grant. This one. There's only a chunk of this that will apply to the municipality per se. Put that in your folder. This I did. One of these. What grants in 4 areas, only looking through it and seeing what they've awarded in the past, only the recreational facilities grant program appears to go to municipalities. 300,000 across the state. What I would propose is to hand this to the planning commission to take a look. See if they're interested in proposing something. Like a boat launch or
I don't give a fuck, actually.
fix a fence or something.
Need a motion or no?
No, I don't think so.
This one must have been right on that. I didn't remember seeing this.
I put it in files somewhere.
Okay, that brings us to number 10,
I got it.
BBC power estimate for Village Common. I will hand that back over to the road commission. for Comments.
So basically, we just need this bill paid, so we actually got lucky in the fact that they're even gonna do a service drop for us
Right there.
Yeah. So we have the wire ran over to the flagpole. Once we get the power set up, we'll
So this is for a light on the pole, flagpole?
finally get a light on the pole. And hopefully have an outlet for other things.
Okay.
So we just need payment of that. So I showed on my email how to pay. Oh, I forwarded that email to you.
How to pay?
Yeah,
I've got your, I think this is printed off,
okay.
so there's more to it that I didn't print.
No,
Thought it showed just the different types. It showed like,
There might be something.
yeah, that's fine, as long as it gets paid.
you pay first, they do the work later.
Yeah,
So I don't
Yeah,
see,
they're smart.
so I guess the only thing that's on here is the service, for Riley brackets and labor, so they're only running that down, so we need electrician to come and put the panel on. and the
yeah,
meter on.
once they're down there, James, or I get James or whoever to get it over to the. I'll need them to do that at the pole, that work at the pole. I think they did one in the park, and
I don't
Is there a
know where we did
conduit under the road or we're gonna have to ditch?
we already did it.
Oh, you already put the
it.
conduit
Yeah, I
in?
did that
Yeah.
a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You had fun in the little teeny tiny excavator that was too small for me.
Oh, is that, and you're gonna have a Pike is gonna patch that?
Yeah.
All right, I'm catching up, all right.
We're just gonna use that old car. that
Did you
they
put
dumped
a,
in the truck.
you put a pipe in?
Yeah, we ran conduit the whole way. Should have that bill.
I'll make the motion to pay the Vermont Electrical up bill of $853 for a service, 100 amp service drop. 100, 200, that's 100 foot.
100-foot drop, so moved. All those in favor? Aye.
Probably 200, no, I'm doing 200 now.
It's a 200 amp draw.
Yeah.
What we do from there is up to
Shit, no,
Throw some power out, and that's
us.
200 in.
that's crazy, that's a lot of juice.
I don't think they're doing anything less than 200 now.
Yeah,
200
Everything's
still.
still.
Okay, moving on to equipment replacement, number 11. I'll hand that back to.
So I won't spend, I'll try not to spend a lot of time on this. I was just curious about availability of equipment as far as this goes. My main concern at the time of getting out of the meeting was our lawnmower. Thankfully, one thing brought me to another before it blew up. We got a seal. Hopefully we can get it patched up and going, but we might get in a situation where we need to replace it immediately and there are no lawnmowers.
Are none,
No,
none.
I went to Harvest, nothing,
How much do you mow? I mean, if you get in a bind, I have a lawnmower you can borrow.
yeah. Just-
Well, the only one in the cemetery as well, right?
Yeah. I think too, they had a pretty good deal on, I was kind of surprised with the Kubota. It was rugged. They said it wasn't a strictly commercial. It was like a mid-grade. He had one that was already sold, and I was really amazed with the thickness of the deck. That was just a 54 inch. But it was fairly cheap too. It was in the $8,000 range, whereas the John Deere was 14,000.
My son bought a new one, you should go check it out, he's pretty fussy,
What do you get?
it's yellow. I don't know what kind it is,
Go get it.
Cub Cadet maybe?
Is it?
It was like, I think he got it from All Around Power last year. It was like 8,800.
Yeah.
Now they're 10 grand. And he likes it.
Yeah.
He's fussy.
Jordan?
Jordan, yeah, you should go check it out.
Okay, and then on the trucks, I just wanted to make you guys aware of that, so it might be, hey, I need a mower tomorrow.
I have money in the.
Yeah, we do. And then with these guys, I was just looking for availability, into availability on the equipment. Craig here, who I've never dealt with, actually does have this model available of 14 SD. That's a Freightliner. I don't think we should get into it too much, but he had that one available. And then Clark's, I talked to Clark's today and he's got one available. Clark's would be later in the year. Don't be fooled by that price either, because that doesn't include the 85,000 for plows, wings, plumbing, bodies. Shouldn't trade any of that, so. I'm just making you guys aware
So
of
you-
it. Maybe we can look
And
into
so
that,
new dump truck complete, loaded up is a couple $100,000.
probably more, yeah. I don't know where our trade would be. He doesn't show anything for that.
What, that dump truck you have is gotta be worth $100,000.
Well, you know, it would be if we could say, hey, we're gonna sell that truck. Oh, while we're on that painting. Could be if we said, hey, you know what, we're gonna sell that truck today. You know, because there are none. You might get $100,000 for it,
Mm-hmm.
but then you're gonna have to wait till minimum January to find one.
So we're down a truck.
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
No, we're gonna get the new truck first, probably not trade it in, maybe just sell it,
Yeah,
just
so
have the
those are-
town sell it.
Those are
Yeah,
things we
then-
can talk about in the upcoming meetings. you
Yep.
know, and I'll give you away. Also, we were supposed to get that truck painted.
Yeah.
And both Greg and Mike Murray from Viking Equipment are like, I won't do it.
Don't spend the money on it.
Don't spend the money. He says, you're gonna spend $8,000. He says, we might give you 1,000 extra. So they ain't in bad shape.
I could see that, yeah.
Yeah. He said, you're just not gonna get the money back. So I think we should back off on the painting.
Where are you doing two trucks?
We were gonna do both.
If you buy one, which one are you gonna keep? Are you gonna get rid of both?
If we buy just one, we'll get rid of the 10-wheeler for now.
So should you do the other one? If you're gonna have it for another year or two regardless?
Might not hurt. Let me re-examine that and I'll work that out with Alex. See if he wants to just do the 6-wheeler.
I mean, I think if you're gonna keep that one another 2 years, maybe you wanna do that one. Your call.
Then I think moving forward with any of that stuff, you know, like right now. These guys had, I don't know if that was a warranty quotation in there. Is it showing?
Extended warranty, $12,894.
And that stuff's amazing, 7 years for everything.
Do you want that?
Yeah.
Yeah. it's all
So I think
motor
moving
goes over.
forward down the road, I mean, I would use that as your platform for trades. Keep them under warranty and get rid of them. Same thing we do with a ton truck.
Mhm.
Yeah, sell it, get rid of it when it has 1 year warranty left, and then you get all the money for it. Yeah.
So we're good there.
Okay, moving on to number 12, the 2021 paving contract update for review and signature. Should be in front of you. You can sign any of those copies. Just one.
So what happened here, Scott, I don't know if you were aware of it, Norman had 450 tons put into the one we had signed. Plus he had it in that other contract, so he took the 450 out.
So
Reason-
he took it out of this one. then.
He did, the reason the number doesn't show a $33,000 drop is because you didn't have the plug joints if we do
Mhm.
Hermanville and down by the station bridge. That number still looks pretty elevated, but I think we're good to go on that.
So this is, you like the way this looks now?
Yeah, sign it and we'll get your road paved by Wednesday afternoon, Brian.
Okay. Fire.
We started to
I'll
drive.
make a motion, we gotta accept this, right? Because it's changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept the Pike Industries paving bid for Pine Hill, Coventry Station, Airport Road to be, okay, so Pine Hill and Coventry Station to be installed by June of 2022. and Airport Road in Hermanville to be installed by June of 23.
So moved. All those in favor?
Aye.
I should have done that at Black Pen.
That's fine. Okay, moving on to number 13, FY 22 budget review, which I put on here of my own volition. I would actually like to recommend that we table most of it with exception of one, just to raise a kudos to our road commissioner, who is, it would appear, going to hit the bullseye on the fiscal year 22 budget. Be exactly on target. Maybe within a few pennies.
You got 10 days left.
I'm not sure how he managed it, but.
You
he
mean the
did.
the 50, where are we at? Let's see.
Yeah, I didn't fully put any numbers in front of you, but,
Well, good.
And actually, well, I mean, that's just a fluke.
Oh, so this is budgeted, there's no actual in here.
yeah, I haven't put numbers in front of you.
Okay.
They're not in front of you. So, what I would
Did you
propose
get
that
a
I
copy?
do next
I got
time,
two
which is
copies.
the start of fiscal year 23, is put the fiscal year
Okay.
22 numbers in front of you, which at that point will be much more finalized. And then you can see. But currently, the good news is road is right on target. And I haven't done enough analysis yet on where we are and with the general fund to say one way or the other, except that I don't think we're wildly plus or minus. Certainly have it, but more to follow on that, if that's okay.
Yep.
I'll probably try to be a little bit more helpful there. I'm gonna start getting back to coding there. But when I get our new administrator, usually I'll code everything till somebody gets an idea what I'm doing. If we hire somebody new, they're gonna look at it and see where's it go.
Right.
If I had a printout of that would help. Or I could just rip up a couple.
Oh, if you had the,
The codes? Yeah.
no, I don't know, I can just print that out for you.
Yeah, that's all I need is a printout of the code numbers.
Yeah.
2010, 2020, whatever it is.
Where are we? 13, those numbers for David. Line numbers.
Oh, that's what this is. Okay, never mind.
Okay, yeah, so I do have a bunch of numbers in front of you.
Right.
And
I know
that's for the
that.
next
I
item.
caught on that already though.
Number 14, and actually don't sign those, I've got the signature ones which are printed on the larger, bolder legal paper. These are something you guys used to do, and I wasn't aware of it until the auditor pointed it out to me. That he had one for fiscal year 21, and did I do one yet for fiscal year 22? And I went, one what? Oh, it's the salary approval. So what you have in front of you is for both fiscal year 22 and then for fiscal year 23. And in a nutshell, it's everybody we pay. There's shows you the budgeted amounts, and then so for fiscal year 22, you have what it was in 21, then what we budgeted in 22, hours per week, and the hourly rate in most cases.
Why wouldn't the assistant clerk hourly rate be the same as like the town treasurer's hourly rate?
Well, this is what it was this year. So as you'll see in 23, actually it does change. We could budget that differently for that very same. It's not that we're making it the same, but it's gone up a bit.
Assistant, what is your,
The assistant clerk. I
not
don't,
the same as the,
but the amount still looks the same. I don't see where it's
as
changed.
assistant treasurer? Is that
No,
what you're saying?
well, yeah, like. I think it should be the same rate as the treasurer, or
Just depends on what the person's doing.
Well, this is actually, just this fiscal year 22 one it's done.
Okay.
This is what we did this year. I don't know that we paid any or very little out in terms of assistant clerk, and we didn't do anything with assistant treasurer. So we didn't have anybody. But when we look at 23, that's where we can,
So do you ever do any assistant clerk work?
this year, I don't believe I've done.
You've done a little bit.
If I, it did, it was very little.
Well, I'm just saying I wouldn't expect you to work for any
It
less.
seems odd why you wouldn't just have your 2506 on everything else.
Right across the board on those.
Oh, you mean, okay, so we're looking
That's
at
what it is.
23.
23 now. Okay.
Yeah,
So as long as you're good with 22 and we'll sign it, I'll be happy because that audit's coming soon.
okay, we're
So,
good.
For 23, yeah, this is the future. This is what happens starting 1, or actually it'll be 3 July, because 2 July is the way the dates fall. 2 July, Saturday, the 2nd of July will be still in prior pay period. But if you as a board want those assistant rates to match the principal rates, I don't have any objection. I don't think Deb does either.
I guess it's fine as long as you are, but I mean, if we were training somebody, I can see that being an appropriate number. Is that something you're comfortable staying in there doing?
Well, I would rather have him be like, if he's gonna be the assistant clerk, I don't think he should be doing it for $16 an hour.
No,
I think it should be 2506. Why should you take time away from doing the other position and to take less to do that position? So I think we should make a motion and raise the assistant clerk and the assistant.
You're adding on those hours.
I would just caution that Deb hires other assistant clerks from time to time. I think she has somebody that she's working on now. So it's not that because I'm now paid hourly, that if Deb needed me to cover, I'm probably gonna come in and say, okay, well, I'm the treasurer, but I can always do assistant clerk stuff
Being the treasurer. All right, so
while I'm
let's,
sitting there as a treasurer.
so let's leave it alone.
And I answer phone
Yeah,
calls.
'cause I think
and
Let's leave it
I think-
alone, right?
try and help.
If
people.
if it wasn't David in there, like
Like,
you
say,
said.
if you
we'd be
hired
saying
Martha
different.
to come in and just stuff
Yeah.
envelopes.
Yeah.
All right, let's leave it alone. All right, yep,
Right.
okay.
The other thing to note is that we did put a big number against the assistant treasurer position this year on the budget, because we didn't know what was going to happen in the vote. Right, so if they said, no, you can't make that appointed, then kind of pushed into maybe needing to pay an assistant for quite a while. And we
Right.
put some money against that, but that is now money that you could reprogram. You don't have to do it now, but if you're looking for money further in the year to reprogram.
That's 4,000 that we're not gonna use.
I'm still hopeful that I find somebody to be an assistant treasurer, that we could get
Train.
somebody on board for that, for training, but it's not likely that we're gonna run through that kind of money necessarily. I mean, I wouldn't reprogram anything right now, but
Okay,
we've given you 3 years.
I'm sorry,
We've given you 3 years to find one.
I know, I'm terrible at that.
he just keeps taking on more.
This is done and over with in about 10 days, right? The 22 budget.
It is, yeah.
Does
So-
this does these numbers need to match what was put out for the audit, or is this is just budgeting?
Those are budget numbers?
Because I believe that one was more.
I was pretty careful. I'll check it, but
I just wanted to make sure that it matched what, so that we didn't get dinged on the audit. 'Cause
yeah.
I know it went into the 23 budget that way.
I remember it.
But there was a
I thought
check.
it Was, more, I don't recall. Then in 22, if it was. I have to pull the book. I don't have it with me, but,
How many cemeteries do we have that we mow? Is there like 5?
3.
3? So the one up at the airport road, this one here, and then the one on Pine Hill.
Yeah.
Right?
This would be the biggest here.
And I think I mentioned it to all three at this point, but Lester Carbonell is temporarily filling in
Yeah, you
I
told
saw
us,
that.
yeah.
and probably will be for at least 2 more weeks.
But, what's his name? Butch. He's a worker. Does a nice job.
Our cemeteries always look nice.
Yeah.
You want me to try to find it? I'm trying to find it, but we don't have to pull it up unless it needs to be held up.
No, that's not gonna be an issue on the audit, I don't think,
Okay.
that, at that level. I have,
I think it was, I think it
You want me to
was,
sign that?
Sure, but we can just put it in with the
The warrants?
warrants.
Yep.
There's 2 separate ones, 3 and 1.
So do we need a motion to approve these?
Actually, that would be good. if you would, please.
So I make the motion to approve the 22 and 23 wage and salary sheet as
Second.
written.
was like,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, number 15, the May treasurer's report. The exciting moment everybody's been waiting for. Share the screen here for our viewing audience. Remember how to do that? I know those at home want to see it too. Right, so in May, we spent some money. Nothing unusual. Find my notes. Just as a reminder, all of the restricted fund spending is done through the general fund, so it tends to inflate the numbers that you see. I move the money into the general fund, we cut the check from the general fund, and then it goes out to pay the reserve fund expenses. So that's why there's a second line there, general fund without reserve fund spending, gives you an idea of what the general fund spending is without the reserve fund spending. Pretty much a normal month for May on the general fund spending. On the reserve fund spending, the 23,614.43, 23,000 was for the roof material for the meeting house. As I mentioned earlier, that check has been cashed. 614 was for the lumber that I believe you used to rebuild the 2 entryway roof coverings. And that's been moved as a reserve fund expense. The road infrastructure spending was for Pine Hill prep, paving prep. Reappraisal fund spending was legal in nature. For a total of $26,497.50 of reserve fund spending in the month of May. Now on to the, I would say, the red news. We've watched the markets have some difficulties these past few months. May was not an exception. So that's kind of a red, but on the bright side, our performance still is within the bounds that we've given the investment advisor. So from that standpoint, we're doing fine. Just keep in mind, this too shall end and the markets will go up again. It's only a question of when. So with that, if there are no questions, I will move on. All right, we will move on.
Looks good, David.
Stop the share. Next, we have the reappointment of the fire warden. Pedro is up for reappointment after a period of time. I think that should appear in my paperwork, actually. Signature. Did we do this? That was actually for his other job
The health
as
officer.
health officer. Turns out that he's up for, and it's two different people, of course, in the state of Vermont, and they both shoot at us, so. Yeah, the second sheet he signs, for the first one, he signs and you guys.
Gotta find out, there's supposed to be something we do about deputy warden, because he's made me deputy warden, but I think there's a whole form that needs to be filled out for that too. We need to vote on this,
No, I don't believe so.
just needs to be signed,
Fine.
all three of us.
Put it in there.
Well, while you're all three here, sure.
Ooh, yeah, I'm done.
All right, thank you very much, and that brings us to other business, where we have a little bit. Let's move it out. Only 7 o'clock. All right. The June 6th meeting minutes, I've put those in front of you in draft format. That was from Leon. Ah, okay.
It's good to me.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, so I think we need to.
I'm gonna stay out of it, but they,
I'll make the motion to accept June 6th meeting minutes as written,
Second.
in favor.
Aye.
Okay. So the other two pieces of business are just, well, it's just an announcement, the sidewalk MPM business, municipal project manager, probably of interest to Praneet. I have been approved officially by the state of Vermont V-Trans as the sidewalk MPM. Let the cheers go up.
hey,
So I will engage sometime this week on getting that business underway again. And Praneet, if you could contact me at your availability, we can move that one ahead.
Yeah, I'll do that, David. I'll send you an email, then we can figure something out from there.
Great.
Thank you, sir.
The consultant out there looking for money will be very happy to hear the news.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's great, David. Thank you for putting in all the work for the paperwork and stuff.
Okay, so the last thing I have in other business was the letter to local resident. There were two initially, but Dave and I talked about the one about
Up on Lane Road, or Spencer Hill.
Spencer Hill, that's been resolved basically at this point.
they cleaned out the ditch. They cleaned-
Well, they seem to be making an attempt to clean the bank. They do bring it down into the ditch, but they have been pulling out material. There's still a bunch to
See them out
go.
there mowing today.
But it does look like they're making an effort, so we can give them some leeway, and if I gotta go speak to them, I could, I guess.
Okay, good.
What's left, only the
Yeah,
village.
I'm pretty good with that one, and I could also swing in and see Rebecca and probably tell her that we'll have to get in there with an excavator and clean that out. I mean, it's,
Okay.
it's gonna be too heavy to get in there.
Okay, so I was proposing to sign that letter as the zoning administrator. That's my evil alter ego. And Mr. Nasty.
So this is,
Although I think it's slightly worded. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'll reword it. Basically says stop clogging the drains. Stop driving on our land.
She could use my name for a couple extra bags of garbage if she wanted.
so who's supposed to be taking care of that? Her, right?
Yeah, so I took some of it out. I took metal that she'd thrown over on our land. Where that is in the drainage ditch, it's kind of I
Yeah.
would almost think it's actually on, I would almost say it's probably on Cobb's land. But she's covered up, it's irrelevant because she's covered up the main drain to the town from right here.
Yeah.
Everything from the comet goes that way. You wouldn't think so, but everything is directed that way and off the two big hills. So there's quite a bit of water that actually does go up there. But I tried to get it with that little mini and it's not big enough to, not the one. I had.
Little mini.
Yeah,
Was it like a mini?
It was a mini.
yeah, it worked pretty good.
You put it in a little pickup truck?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so you guys are okay?
I'm okay with that,
So
yeah.
as a zoning administrator.
Yep.
Hopefully low threat, please stop doing.
We need to, we don't need to, no, no. Okay.
All right, that brings us to warrants. I have the long-awaited and often mythical Orleans County, Orleans Town of Orleans Fire Department updated version contract for the chairman to sign. with the
Already?
Right number on it. The shouts will go out, hallelujah, when that.
These things have,
has
this thing's
arrived
been
finally.
going back and forth.
You looked at the warrants? You guys?
I have not.
Today.
I went through them, they look fine.
I didn't,
Like normal, no questions.
I don't think I saw 4 o'clock.
Excellent, thank you. Send that off to Orleans. I do not have an update on, unfortunately, on the San Souci building. I have good intentions to call Brian Martin, but I have not been able to follow through on that.
When do grievances
2
start?
pages.
It's come and gone. So we know that Stella did not like the answer of the grievance and that they're taking it to the BCA. So we're scheduling that right now.
That's what Deb was trying to do at the end of July.
Right.
Did you guys answer her on that email and if you could be here that week?
I told her,
I
I thought
haven't.
so. Yeah, she didn't give us the exact day.
No,
Yeah, I
I'm
answered her.
not. I'm being gone and.
When's it, is it early July?
As long as it's like
End
the-
of July.
As long as like not on a
Week of
Friday or
27th or
something or
something.
Monday, but yeah, usually she does it like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Week of the 25th is what she was looking at.
You said all these.
I'll make a motion to accept the warrants as they are.
So move. All those in favor?
Aye.
That unanimous?
I guess.
Well,
Yeah,
he guesses.
I just haven't seen it.
I'm gonna go through it real quick. There's no second pages in any of these.
Just find the signature page and you'll be good.
These are all just-
Oh,
With me. Doctor's signature.
happy meeting when I put in all those new pay rates. Either after next. Just another whole adventure in itself.
Thing. Ain't much here.
We were gone, we don't do much.
Save money. You just gotta sign this next page.
So we are coming to the end of the fiscal year. There's, I'm mulling over in my mind how to do payroll at the end of the fiscal year.
You don't need to do anything different, right?
I can go back in. So
There it is. That's the workman's or unemployment. Go ahead.
I could keep all of the payroll within the fiscal year. We're not actually going to pay the payrolls for the next fiscal year, which presents a little bit of a problem with the bank account in that I got to pay it out in July, which is next fiscal year. I would then have to go in and move it. And sparing you the details,
Because you paid every 2 weeks, or is it because of the way the dollar?
because I pay every 2 weeks, and the way the period ends, it ends on the 2nd of July, so the actual money wouldn't come out of the bank account until probably the 6th, actually, with the holiday. So the option exists to pay it early. You could pay through the 2nd of July and have it pay on the 30th of June. We
Do a special
do
payment.
do in a sense a special one that's backed up a bit in prepaying, which we don't usually do, but just to bring it.
What makes it easier for you?
I think it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But if there's the thing that's the wild card is roads. If you have something that happens in those last few days of June that you got to deal with, it involves overtime. Then we have to pay that later.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's not
We
a,
can,
the upside, the plus side of paying it early is with the holiday falling where it falls, people would have their paychecks at a more normal time.
July 1st is Friday, so you're not.
But in order to pay it on June 30th, we have to get that in front of you on the 28th. So you can approve it and get it programmed by the 29th so that it can be paid on the 30th. That's the way the banks.
And that would pay through the 2nd.
Through July 2nd.
So
Or if we wait, then we're probably not paying. We're paying through July 2nd at that point, probably on
on the 6th.
the
7th.
6th or 7th. It's gonna be a little bit of delay.
I think you do it. I think you do it early.
yeah, it doesn't
If
matter
something
either
ended up
way, but-
happening, in my opinion, like from the roads perspective, I'd say just push it on to a fall. Well,
We'll figure
because It's really
Just
only
write that on
the,
next week's.
well, I guess
thing.
you're right. It'd
The new
be
year.
29th, 30th. That would be more work than the first that we'd be worried about on that. So there's more, yeah, I don't.
It's unlikely, and it's not really a big deal fiscally. I can still deal with it the same way I would deal with it if I was just gonna pay normally. I would just go move it.
Well, it's easy, so
But
theoretically, if something happened and we paid that extra on 6th, you could. Well, the bank account will still be.
it's not a big deal with the bank account.
Yeah.
My major concern was with the holiday falling the way it falls, it delays getting the money to the people that work for us.
Right.
Yeah.
We had the same issue, actually, as
This
turned out today, this week, that the
Because
banks,
Juneteenth is a federal
yeah,
holiday.
they shut their system off for programming that, which is just maddening, because it's a computer. Why do you have to shut that? They do, and so we
But you,
weren't able
oh,
to,
that was the problem. You couldn't actually throw it in there.
even though it's approved, we can't actually go put it in. We have to put it in tomorrow. Which, then that takes a day to. So in
And I was actually
the two
on
people I
time.
paid with check are getting paid sooner than the electronic version. Which is, it's just kind of maddening, the way that works. So if you guys are okay with that, I don't need a motion, I just.
Yeah,
I didn't
I'm
want
okay with that.
a surprise, why are you paying early kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay, so that brings us to an anticipated executive session for personnel discussions.
So I make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss it. Personnel,
Administrative
yeah.
Just gonna discuss personnel.
Yep.
Personnel discussions.
Is it section 1 VSA
313
313
to include.
to include the board and Mr. Barlow?
Okay, so
So do you guys have them? Like some good candidates?
We got resumes last week or last time, and now we're finding out about it, so.
So the answer is after executive session.
Maybe.
You do have some resumes though.
We had, what do we have?
I'm gonna stop recording right there. Oh, no, wait a minute, I don't want to stop.
No, cancel.
I wanna
And-
pause it. Zoom.
So the board and Dave Barlow coming out of executive session on personnel. No decisions at this time have been made.
Any other discussion on anything?
I don't think there's any other discussion. I
No,
think,
that was the end of the warned meeting.
yeah.
Item number 20 is adjourned.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
So move. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.